And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Jed Elias. Sounds like a professional wrestler's name. Who writes, "Hello, John and crew. I just read a report from The Wrap saying that Disney Plus is currently developing a TV series based on the underrated 2011 movie Real Steel. It didn't say anything about Hugh Jackman or the original cast returning, but director Shawn Levy will be producing. Like you, I was a big fan of the film, and I can't wait to return to this world. What do you think this series will look like? Thanks for everything you guys do." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, they have finally said they're doing it. We're returning to Real Steel. Now, let me give some background on this. That Real Steel movie with Hugh Jackman, which we all joked about, and we all called it Rock'em Sock'em Robots, if you guys remember that, right? It looked dumb. It looked dumb. A movie about boxing robots. It's ridiculous. The trailers didn't do the movie a lot of favors, but had Evangeline Lilly, had Hugh Jackman, so maybe we'll give it a shot. I love that Real Steel movie. Like, it is so much better than the premise of this movie has any business being. Boxing robots. This is a completely human movie about a father and son and the relationships there and what the things they bond over. The action, boxing robots, who cares? But the action is thrilling. It was exciting. The final fight was heart pounding and adrenaline boosting. It was great. And I remember when I went to do the press for it, it's what gave me the chance to sit down and interview the immortal Sugar Ray Leonard. And Sugar Ray Leonard did the fight choreography for the boxing fights and even did some of the motion capture for the boxing movements. And getting to sit down and talk to Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm not going to lie, guys, that is one of like my career highlights. Anyway, Real Steel, absolutely fantastic movie. And it did fairly well at the box office. So we've wondered for a long time, where the hell is the sequel? Well, I guess the sequel might take place in the form of a Disney Plus series. Here's what comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write the following. A Real Steel series adaptation is in the early stages of development at Disney Plus, Variety has learned. The potential series would be based, and get that word, potential series, would be based off the 2011 film of the same name, which was itself based on the short story Steel by Richard Matheson. As the project is still in the very early stages, no writer is yet attached. That means it's not clear yet if the show would adhere to the events of the original film or take a different direction altogether with new characters. Should the Real Steel series move forward, it would be the latest attempt by Disney Plus to mine existing IP under the media giant's umbrella as a new streaming series. All right, so there's a couple of different ways I look at this. Number one, yay. Yay. Returning to Real Steel. Yay. I love the movie. I've been wanting to see a sequel for a long time, and if it's got to be a Disney Plus series, so be it. Yay. Observation number two. It really went out of their way in that article to point out that this is not a sure thing, right? Let's look at these words again. The potential series. Should the Real Steel series move forward? So it's kind of important to point out that this is not a done deal. This is not a for sure thing. It is not confirmed that a Real Steel show is coming to Disney Plus, but it does look like that's what they're trying to do. So thought number one, yay. Observation and thought number two, remember, this isn't a sure thing. It's just what they're working towards. My third observation and thought is this, though. I'm not saying I should or should not be interested, all right? I'm not saying I should be interested. I'm not saying I shouldn't be interested. But I'm just going to tell you what is, okay? Not what should. I'm going to tell you what is. And what is that I'm not really sure how excited I am about this if Hugh Jackman's not in it. I'm not sure how excited I am about this if it's not actually a follow-up to the film Real Steel. Because if it's not a follow-up to the events of Real Steel in 2011, and if it's not Hugh Jackman and Evangeline Lilly, then all it is somebody else trying to do a show or a story about Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And they killed it with the movie. They did. They absolutely killed it with the movie. But does that mean they can just recapture lightning in a bottle? Let's do another totally separate thing about boxing robots, and we'll call it Real Steel too. Like, I'm not so sure, but I can tell you this. And you don't choose how excited you are for something. You just are. You don't choose whether you're excited. You don't choose how you feel. I'm just saying that I can tell you right now that if we find out that this is not a continuation, and it's not Hugh Jackman and Evangeline Lilly being involved in this, that excitement level I feel for the notion of this show drops about 50%. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm not saying I shouldn't. I'm just telling you that's what it is. My enthusiasm level will drop. Actually, let's jump in. Let me see if I can do a poll with this. Are you still excited for Real Steel if it's not a continuation? So there, I put it up for those of you guys watching live. I just put up a poll in the chat there saying, are you still excited for Real Steel if you find out it's not a continuation? If you find out it's not Hugh Jackman? Maybe you guys love the concept of Real Steel, and even if it's a new iteration and it's not Hugh Jackman and it's not a continuation, you're still excited about it. Maybe you're not. I'm going to keep my eyes on this one right now to see how you. So we've already gotten a bunch of you guys sending in votes. So we've got over 300 of you guys have voted already, and 72% of you are saying no, you're not going to be as excited for Real Steel. Now the numbers changed. Now it's 68%, 32% of you are saying yes, you'd still be excited. We're over 400 votes now. So there we got about a 2-to-1 ratio there. So we're still sitting at 68% are saying no, you wouldn't be as excited. Now 69%, 31% of you are saying yes, you'd still be excited. I'm very curious to see how this is actually all going to end up. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? It sounds like Disney Plus is going to try to bring us back and revisit Real Steel. Are you excited about it? Will you still be excited about it if it's not a continuation, it doesn't have Hugh Jackman? Whatever you guys are feeling about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.